Well, amid food shortages, insanitary conditions and increasing levels of disease, conditions are continuing to deteriorate for displaced Palestinians in crowded camps. Hani Mahmoud reports from Gaza City.
In the middle of a crowded displacement camp in Gaza City, under torn tarpaulin and plastic sheeting, Ashraf and her family begin another day in the summer heat. Temperatures have soared beyond usual. For families like hers, who fled Israeli bombardment months ago, this is another silent enemy.
Our life in these tents is unbearable. Flies and mosquitoes are everywhere. The water is scarce and unsuitable for drinking. The heat and lack of sanitation are causing diseases to spread. The children got skin diseases and I am diabetic. They can't sleep. They're dizzy and sweating all day. We have no fan, no clean water. This sun is slowly killing us.
Her son Ashraf and his family are in the tent next to hers. Her 2-year-old granddaughter has developed heat rash and diarrhea, symptoms doctors say are spreading rapidly in Gaza.
Look at this little girl. Her arms are covered with itchy bumps, not to mention flies, insects and snakes. Sanitation's almost impossible under these conditions. The heat's scorching. You can feel it inside the tent. It feels more like sitting in a greenhouse. Life's very difficult. We can't sit outside because the Israeli gunboats keep shooting at us, but it's also very hard to stay inside the tents.
Ashraf family is among the nearly 2 million Palestinians displaced by Israel's war. Many living in tents, schools and destroyed buildings, with no power, no toilets and no clean water. Her 13-year-old granddaughter Bisan says they ran from bombs, thinking they would find safety. Now they face hunger, sickness and incessant heat.
We can't sleep at night. It's too hot in the tent. Mosquitoes are everywhere. And as soon as we close our eyes, there are cockroaches and mice and lizards or other things on our bodies and faces. We can't cover ourselves with blankets because it's too hot. The tent feels like an oven.
As Gaza humanitarian crisis deepens, families here are pushed far beyond what the human body and spirit can endure. Displaced by Israeli bombs, they have little protection from the scorching temperatures, trapped between constant gunfire and unrelenting heat. Hani Mahmoud, Jazeera from Gaza City, Palestine.
Ahmed Bayram is the Middle East spokesperson for the Norwegian Refugee Council, and he is joining us live from Amman. Great to have you with us, Mr. Bayram. Thank you for your time. So that report looking at just the impossible choices for people in Gaza, trapped between the bullets and the increasing heat in these displacement camps. What are your teams seeing, hearing about the impact of those high temperatures on the some 2 million people who are displaced?
Horrifying conditions, and what our teams are seeing and what Palestinians in Gaza are seeing is the erasure of every aspect of life in Gaza by Israel. Today we're talking about probably 93% of Gaza deemed unlivable or unlivable by the Israelis. The infestation, the collection of garbage has stopped in the areas where overcrowded people, the remainder of the 7% of Gaza where people are staying, people are now sleeping on the street, literally on the street. There is nothing that can protect them or shield them from the weather elements, let alone the bullets and the bombs. Yes, the conditions of life, these are conditions of death. They're not conditions of life anymore in Gaza. They are worsening day after day.
You said people are sleeping on the streets. People are certainly dying on the streets. They're dying of starvation. You've said that getting food is the deadliest mission a parent can undertake in Gaza. How do you see Israel's tactics now, their broader strategy in regards to food?
Israel's record in the past 2 years speaks for itself, really. It's the antidote of any rules in any conflict. We haven't seen anything that Israel is doing, replicate anywhere else in the world at this scale. When you look at the size of Gaza, the tiny size of Gaza, and when you look at the options that people run out of, my colleagues tell us about how people can be on the market for 4 or 5 hours and not go back with anything. And if there's anything available, an item will sell for $50 to $100. So yes, Israel is suffocating Gaza, while tons of food wait across the border, and people are left to scavenge. People are left to with two options: starvation or gunfire or bullets or tank fire. This should not continue, and I don't understand how the West can live with this. How can the West, whether that is governments, whether that is the top decision makers, how can they see this on screen and not do anything about it? It's beyond shocking, really. It's beyond confusing, and it's beyond baffling. Israel has a free hand over Gaza, over the food, over the water, over the supply of aid, while the world is watching. So it has to stop. It has to stop now, because people have nowhere to go, have nothing to eat, have no water to drink, and they know that death is coming from all directions.
And you asked yesterday, how is the world allowing this? How do you think the Israeli government, how far do you think the Israeli government's might against Gaza's population will go and will be allowed to go?
It's already too far. It's already a lot that Israel is doing. It's too much. Just today, just this morning, relocation orders have been released in Deir Balah, which means that agencies like us, Norwegian Refugee Councils, Norwegian Refugee Council have now to relocate and move, and other organizations are also affected. Israel, of course, has decimated life in Gaza infrastructure, but what happened yesterday and what is happening today is probably the most dangerous yet in terms of Israel's attacks and in terms of how close these attacks are from civilian populations. So yes, Israel has crossed that red line already. It has crossed it under US watch, under European watch, and it continues to do so. And we have run out of calls and words to describe this, really. But what we want to see is for the West, for Israel's allies, to do something about it, to stop this carnage, to stop this suffering, and to stop the starvation.
And unless it does so, what do you think Israel is trying to achieve with the humanitarian conditions that it's imposed in Gaza?
I think it's no secret now. It's declared policy, right? That Israel wants Gaza empty of its people, or at least some voices in Israel are calling for that. Or some parts of Gaza, lots of big, small, doesn't matter. There are lots of debates, but what we see is clear attempt to make Gaza unlivable for people to give up and leave their homes. There's no homes left, but also leave their land. And of course, we see that as a declared policy. We see that in actions on the grounds, when you leave people to live on 7% of the area that you are occupying, that you are pounding, that you are attacking day and night. You are leaving them with no options but to really be in desperation and be in despair. So yes, it's driving people to that point of despair. We see people now dropping from starvation, from hunger as they wait for food. Yes, everything speaks to that, really, to that policy of making Gaza unlivable.
That is Ahmed Bayram of the Norwegian Refugee Council joining us live from Amman. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.